session. My name is Peter Lee. I am the admissions / recruiter here at the University of Texas at Arlington. And today I want to share the many opportunities on studying abroad. If you're interested in studying in the US or if you're interested in studying at my school, the University of Texas at Arlington, I would like to share more information on the application process and what it's like and what things that you need to look for when you're applying to schools predominantly in the US and schools in Texas. This is going to be a Q&A session. So after this presentation, hopefully about 20 minutes after the presentation is over, any questions you guys may have, please let me know, and I'll do my best to answer as many questions as I can. So one of the things, and to me personally, one of the beauties about studying in the US, if you're interested in studying abroad, is that there are so many schools in the United States to choose from. And you really can't go wrong. Wherever you decide to study in the US, you're gonna have a great education, but really it's really understanding if that school is the right fit for you. And there's many criteria that you need to look for. If you're researching, if you're a student interested in a bachelor's degree, a master's, or even a PhD, there's so much that you need to be thinking about when applying to schools in the US. So that's something that I'm gonna cover today. One of the first things that you wanna do research about in studying in America is how big is the school and what are the school's rankings? Obviously, you really wanna go to a good school, but predominantly here at UTA, the school that I'm from, we are a comprehensive R1 research institution. What that means is that our school is predominantly focused on research. And that's a really, really good thing for you to know if you're applying to UTA or any other school that's a R1 research institution. Not many schools in the United States can boast the fact that they're an R1 research institution. And what that means for you as a student is you get to attend a school that's continuously actively engaged in research projects. So a lot of professors, faculty members that you'll be interacting with, a lot of them will have research projects that are ongoing. And that opens the doors for you to participate, to assist professors, maybe gain a mentorship. And that way it'll look good on your resume because you'll get research experience. And two, that can open the doors for funding opportunities as well. As an R1 research institution, a lot of schools that have a lot of focus on research will offer a lot of scholarships, grants, and funding opportunities for those students that are actively engaged and participating in some of the ongoing research that the university is currently pursuing. So that's something you want to think about. If there's a certain research interest, research topic that you're interested in doing, research that school to see if any professors or faculty members are actively engaged or are interested in pursuing some research topics that you're interested in pursuing. Other than that, we need to know if the school that you're applying for has the program that you're interested in. Here at UTA, we're such a large institution. I pulled some statistics and some numbers here. About over 40,000 students are actively enrolled in our campus. And there's the breakdown. A large portion are international students. So about 4,000 students represent over 130 countries here at UTA. We're very, very diverse, and that's something that we're really proud of here at UT Arlington, that we have such a large international community here at UTA. I put some more rankings out there for you guys to consider. Each school will have their own. These are some numbers and statistics that I think are beneficial and that stood out to me when I was looking at my school and why I think UT Arlington will be a good fit for you guys. And also some things that you want to consider too when you're studying abroad. One of the things is the campus safe? Would you feel safe to be living, here in the United States? Well, UT Arlington is actually one of the safest colleges in America. We've consistently ranked top 100 safest universities and campus in America every single year. So we have our own police department. We have many resources on campus to help you. And also, we're very diverse. You know, on the last slide, I showed you how many students we have. We're actually ranked 5th in the nation as having one of the most diverse student population in the world. So, not in the world, in the US. So that's something to consider, right? We're a very open community. We welcome students from all countries to come to the US, to UTA on campus, and we encourage that. So this is what you want to consider when you're applying to a school in the US is would you feel comfortable studying there? Because for the most part, you're going to be here for a good 4 years or even longer, depending on your program. And then these are some more numbers about UT Arlington. If you guys are not familiar with our location, we're located in the great state of Texas, which is the southern part of the United States. We're also located in one of the most fastest growing economies in the country. In fact, the 5th fastest growing economy is the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. Arlington, Texas is located right in the heart of Dallas and Fort Worth. And what that does and what that benefits you guys if you choose to decide to come to the University of Texas at Arlington is that we have a large industry, Fortune 500. We have one of the largest concentrations of Fortune 500 companies in the nation. That's going to open up a lot of doors for you for internship opportunities, networking, to be able to meet your future employer, to practice your interviewing skills, and to learn industry practices and things like that. A lot of our programs do require some internship components. So we encourage that. We have resources on campus to help students, attain an internship while they're practicing and while they're finishing their degree. So being geographically located in one of the fastest growing economies in the nation, that really benefits you for the many internship opportunities and also the cost of living. Here in Texas, the cost of living is significantly less than, say, maybe the West Coast or the East Coast of the United States. So your money can really stretch a lot further here in Texas. So some things to consider as well. I also want to point out the $1.5 million in federal grant dollars that the university receives annually. And that's important too, because we are an R1 research institution. So we do get a lot of funding from the federal government to help with our research projects. In return, that opens up a lot of doors for graduate teaching assistantships, graduate research assistantships. If you're a master's student, if you're a PhD student, that opens a lot of doors for you to get funding to assist these professors with their ongoing research projects if you're interested. And that can help, pay for some of your tuition. And also gives you valuable work experience as well. So these are the many colleges that are represented with the University of Texas at Arlington. We are a big campus, so we do have a lot of programs ranging from the College of Engineering. So if you're interested in computer science, if you're interested in civil engineering, we have a really good engineering program here at UTA. The College of Business, we have the MBA program. We have information system, data analytics. So if you're interested in learning, corporate business, but also understanding the computer side component of it, networking and data analysis, we have that as well. And College of Liberal Arts, so if you want to study history, communication, a wealth of spectrum of whatever you want to study. I hope we do have a program that fits your needs. Also, if you have a specific interest, do let me know after the end of this presentation. I will share my email. I would love to keep in touch with you guys. So hopefully I can provide more guidance along the way if you do decide to study in the US or if you do decide to apply to the University of Texas at Arlington. I do want to make sure that we are a good fit for you. So how do you apply? If you're really interested in applying to the University of Texas at Arlington or any other US school for that matter, most schools in the US will follow the same pattern or the same steps. So I'm going to outline some of the basics. So it really starts off with an application. So most schools will have a streamlined one website that you log into, and then you'll start an application. Here at UTA, we use a website called Apply Texas, and that's really a website for all Texas schools. So across the state of Texas, if you're applying to any school in Texas, you'll log on to applytexas.org. You'll identify the school that you're interested in applying, and then you'll just submit the application. It's very simple, should not be a problem there. The second thing is the application fee. Most schools in the US will require an application fee. So you'll pay the application fee. It can range from $75 up to $90. Here at UT Arlington, it is a $90 fee. However, for you guys participating in this webinar, if you're interested in applying to UTA, do let me know. I am happy to look into possibly waiving that application fee for you. So it really wouldn't cost you anything to apply to the University of Texas at Arlington. So I would love to give you that opportunity for all those that are listening and watching and watching this presentation live right now, an opportunity for you to receive an application, a one-time application fee waiver. The next step is your official transcripts. So whatever school that you've been to, I know all of you guys are from Turkey. So whatever school, institution that you've been to in the past, we're gonna need all transcripts from all colleges and schools and institutions that you have attended. So you'll submit that. There's pretty much two main ways of submission. One is by mail. So you'll just reach out to your previous school, and then you'll send you'll tell the school to mail it to us. Very simple. The second way is probably the ideal way, is send it by electronics. So email. If you have the institution email it to us directly, that's the ideal way to do it, because honestly, that's probably the fastest way for us to process your documents, and the safest way too, because it goes directly to us. Last but not least will be test scores. So this is going to be varying by many factors, just depending on what program you're applying for. But for the most part, it's going to be two types of exams. One is going to be the English proficiency exam, the TOEFL or the IELTS. And then there's going to be the GRE exam for people applying for engineering, science fields, for the master's and PhD programs, or the GMAT exam for people interested in applying for the College of Business. So if you're interested in applying for the MBA program, the Master's of Business in Analytics, Information Systems, you'll take the GMAT exam. And these exams test your mathematic ability, your reading and writing. But last but not least as well, if you're interested in applying as a bachelor's degree seeking student, meaning that you completed your high school studies and you wanna get your 4-year degree in the US, you'll be submitting what we call the SAT exam or the ACT exam. So those are the exams that you need to be thinking about, what exams that you need to be taking, etc. And that will vary from school to school, but for the most part, these are what you'll be looking at. Also at UT Arlington, for English proficiency, we do accept the TOEFL and the IELTS, and we also accept the Duolingo exam as well. With me working with a lot of international students, a lot of students have told me that the Duolingo exam is a lot easier than the TOEFL and the IELTS. I don't know if that's true. I've never taken the exam before, but that's something you want to look into as well. If you're having trouble with the TOEFL or the IELTS, you might want to look into the Duolingo exam, because we do accept Duolingo here at UT Arlington as well. I don't know if it's easier, but I do know it's cheaper. So that's a good alternative if you're looking at the English proficiency exams and what you need to take. And then some additional requirements that some schools in the US will ask is letters of recommendations. So right now, depending on what program you're applying for, some programs will ask for up to 3 letters of recommendations. And ideally, we look for people that are faculty members. So maybe your past professors, past high school teachers, things like that will be an ideal person that you want to ask for a letter of recommendation. If you've been out of school for a long time, I completely understand. It may be difficult for you to reach out to a past teacher, but we also accept supervisors from your employer as well. So wherever you work, your supervisor could be a letter of recommendation. So keep that in mind that we may ask for letters of recommendation. A personal statement. Some schools will ask for a personal statement. Here at UT Arlington, at the undergraduate level for bachelor seeking students, we don't require it, but at the master's and PhD, it is dependable on what program you're applying for. We may ask for a personal statement. A personal statement is kind of like an essay. It doesn't have to be long. It's about 1 page describing why you will be a good fit for the University of Texas at Arlington, or whatever school that you're applying for. This is a very important part of the application process, in my opinion, because it really is the way for you to show how to stand out from the many candidates that we receive. So in the personal statement, my recommendation to you guys, if you do have to submit one, is you have to do the research in the school that you're applying to. The personal statement cannot be an essay that you copy and paste and submit to multiple schools. If you're applying to like 4 or 5 schools in the US or somewhere else, it can't be the same. It has to be different. It has to be tailor fit to the school that you want to go. So look up the university that you're interested in applying for. Look at the faculty members. Each school in the US will list all of their faculty members and professors on the website. With our school, we are an R1 research institution. So a lot of our professors are actively engaged in research projects. All those research projects should be available on the website. So it's easy for you to look up a professor within the College of Science, for example, or the College of Engineering, and see a professor that, hey, he's doing a research project that you find very, very interesting, whether it be a robotics, AI research, you know, to study the how to make robots more efficient, something like that. Tailor that to the personal statement and indicate that that's what you're interested in doing. And that really shows that, 1, you're a good fit at UTA because you identified a research that matches your interests. And 2, it shows that you will actively support UT Arlington's or wherever school you're applying to ongoing projects that you will benefit and you will help UTA and help that school. So that's some of the examples that I can think of that will be helpful when you're writing a personal statement to a school that you're interested in applying to. So this is the admissions requirements. So I broke down the admission requirements to 2 parts. The first slide that you're seeing right now is for people that are interested in a bachelor's degree. So for the most part, we'll look for the English proficiency exam, the TOEFL, the IELTS. Also remember, we are accepting the Duolingo as well on top of the TOEFL or the IELTS. So it kind of gives you the base minimum score that we are required for admissions purposes. Also for the academic testing, the SAT or the ACT. So this is kind of gives you the breakdown of what scores we are expecting. If you're interested in like an engineering field, a STEM field, the score obviously will be a little bit higher. But keep in mind as well, in light of COVID-19 and the current things that are going on right now with the world, we do understand that there may be some difficulties in taking these exams. We are currently test optional, meaning that SAT and ACT scores are not required to be admitted. So you don't necessarily have to submit those scores. We will use your transcripts. And based off of your transcripts and other factors, we can admit you that way. I also want to stress that even though a lot of schools in the US may become test optional to help international students, a lot of scholarship opportunities will still require test scores. So I will encourage you guys to research. Even though a school may not need an SAT or an ACT exam, a scholarship opportunity that you want to be an applicant of may require an SAT or ACT exam. So it's still beneficial for you guys to look up the possibilities of taking that exam. I do understand right now the SAT and ACT scores are, SAT, ACT exams are offered online. So it is a possibility for you guys to take it in the comfort of your own home right now. But some things to consider. Even though we are test optional, I still encourage you guys to look up taking the SAT or taking the ACT exam. One or the two, not both, just one. And this is for students that are interested in maybe a master's degree or a PhD degree. This is kind of like the generic admissions requirement to see if you're going to be a competitive candidate or not. For the most part, what we look for is your GPA of a 3.0 or greater out of a 4 scale. Here in the US, we use a 4.0 GPA scale, meaning 4.0 is the highest you can get. I don't know with the students in Turkey what kind of scale you guys use. I do work with a lot of students from India. India uses a 10-point scale, so I converted it easily for students in India to see what a 3.0 will look like in regards to the Indian standards, which is a 7 or better in a 10-point scale. It is going to vary from country to country. Like I said, I'm not too sure exactly what you guys use in Turkey, but hopefully this gives you like a good range of what your GPA should be when you're applying to schools in the US. Ideally, you want a GPA of a 3.0 or greater out of a 4.0 scale. And there's many conversions that you can look up online. There's actually a couple official agencies that we use. I know West Evaluations is one of the more common evaluation agencies. But if you're truly interested in applying to a certain school, I would definitely reach out to that school to learn more on what conversion factors they use. Okay, so the next step when you're applying to schools in the US, I would say, probably the most important step is really identifying when is the due dates. So here at UT Arlington, we have rolling admissions, meaning we accept admissions year-round. However, we have 3 semesters, fall, spring, and summer. And this is generally common in most schools in the US. So the first step is really identifying which start date do you want to start, your studies. Once you have identified that, say for instance, fall is typically, it starts in August and ends all the way till December. And then after December will be spring, which would be December, January, all the way till May. And then summer will be May, July, etc. But ideally, most students will start in the fall term. Once you have identified which start date you would like, here at UT Arlington, our priority deadline is March 15th. So that kind of gives you a good gauge and understanding on what you need to get done. If you need letters of recommendations, if you need a statement of purpose to be drafted, if you need to take any exams, whether it be the TOEFL exam, the IELTS exam, or the English Duolingo exam for English proficiency, or the SAT, ACT, GMAT, GRE, etc., you have a good gauge on when you need all those things done. So the first thing is really when you're applying to schools, figure out what the deadlines are and kind of work backwards. Okay, so this is probably the most important slide out of all the slides. A lot of students ask, how much will it cost, living in the US and studying abroad? So this is kind of the breakdown that I was given, that I created to kind of show you what for you guys to expect. Now, granted, these numbers are last year's numbers, but it still gives you a good understanding. And also, these are just estimates. So it's going to vary greatly on a lot of factors. So keep that in mind as well. For instance, here at UT Arlington, there is not a requirement that you have to live on campus. In fact, a lot of students internationally, when they come here, they choose to live off campus, somewhere reasonably cheap, but still close so they can walk to campus. But that way they do save a lot more money. So there's a lot of things and factors to consider in regards to price, but this is pretty much the breakdown of what you can expect for one whole year. So as a graduate student, if you're a master's or a PhD student, you're looking at around $36,000 per year. An undergraduate, a bachelor seeking student, you're looking at $39,000 per year. Now, granted, these are estimates, so it's going to vary based off where you decide to live, whether it be on campus, off campus, how you choose to spend your money, and also if you're going to be receiving any funding opportunities. Again, since we are an R1 research institution, we do have a lot of funding opportunities for you. If you're a graduate student, you can apply for graduate teaching assistantships, graduate research assistantships. If you're a PhD student, you can apply for fellowships. Undergrad students, we have numerous scholarship opportunities, the Maverick Academic Scholarship, the Presidential Scholarship, etc. So there's opportunities for you to apply for scholarship and funding opportunities along the way. So even though this is your tuition currently, it could change. So nothing's going to stop you, for maybe 1 or 2 semesters on campus. Maybe a year later, you apply for a scholarship or a funding opportunity, and your tuition reduces. So just FYI, but this is a really good gauge of what you can be expecting if you decide to apply to the University of Texas at Arlington. I already talked a lot about the funding opportunities, but just to reiterate, we do have funding opportunities for you. Graduate research assistantships, those are students that assist professors with their research projects. So whatever research projects that's ongoing, you can assist professors with analyzing the data, collecting surveys, doing the research for them, and things like that. Teaching assistantships, so a lot of students that are master's and PhD students end up assisting professors with teaching courses. So I think it's a really good way for you to learn teaching skills. So professors that are working on their ongoing research projects may need assistance in teaching freshman level courses. So you may be assigned to teach and help out. And in doing so, you'll get a stipend and your tuition could be reduced significantly. And then fellowships are more geared towards doctoral students. So anyone interested in a PhD, more than likely you could qualify for a fellowship. And a fellowship could pay up to 90 to even 100% of your tuition, along with the stipend as well. So it is going to vary from program to program. So each program will have their own separate funding. So it's really on you to do your research. But just know that there are funding opportunities out there. And with schools like UT Arlington, especially as an R1 research institution, more funding could be available in those, in my institution and those institutions that are designated R1 versus other schools across the US. Okay, and then last but not least, one of the most important things I think is beneficial when you're studying abroad, especially if you've never been to the US and this is your very first time, is not only identifying if the school has the right program and it's the right fit, but also what kind of resources are available to assist you here on campus. It's one thing for you to travel to the US and come to study here and do great, but it's another thing to know that you actually have the support of the school. So when you're researching, I encourage you guys to look up what kind of resources on campus will assist you to better yourself. This is some resources that I think was important here at UT Arlington. Of course, this is not all the resources. We have tons of resources to help international students, but we have some resources that I think are beneficial, like the Office of International Education. We have university libraries. We actually have 4 libraries here on campus, one of which is open 24 hours of the day. So you have access to study whenever you want. I think that's a great benefit. The Lockheed Martin Career Development Center. Not only will you get a great education, but the Lockheed Martin Career Development Center is a resource on campus that's really designed to help you find internship opportunities. So we really push our students to gain that practical experience. And I always encourage students to reach out to the Lockheed Martin Career Development Center to learn more about how to better your interviewing skills, how to network, how to learn, job trends, what employers are looking for in today's economy. What also this resource does is they actually host 2 main career fairs every single year, one in the fall and one in the spring. And we invite companies from all over the world and all over the country to come meet you guys and hopefully recruit you guys for valuable internship opportunities in the summer, or even gainful employment later down the line if you want to take up OPT or CPT opportunities and things like that. So those are things that, in addition, I think it's important for you guys to research as well. What kind of resources on campus that will really assist you to better yourself? And of course, we also have over 300 student organizations. So school is going to be fun and challenging at the same time, but we also want you guys to engage in the student experience. I know in these current times right now with COVID-19, it may be difficult to see yourself traveling, but this is temporarily. Our hope really is next year, everything will be back to normal again, and you guys get to be all out and traveling. We hope to see you guys here in the US on campus at UT Arlington. With 300 plus student organizations, we actually have a Turkey student organization for Turkey students. One of my favorite traditions that we have here at UT Arlington is actually called International Week. And that is a week dedicated for international students to really showcase their culture, their food, and really share their stories to all students on campus. And it's really a great way for you to really interact with and meet and make friends with people from all over the world here on campus. So yeah, so I think those are some opportunities that you guys need to be looking into when you're thinking about what schools you should be applying to. And also health services too. As an international student, being so far away from your home country, I understand that there's going to be a lot of anxiety, excitement for sure, but there's a lot of fears and things like that. We do have our own police force. And like I said earlier, we're one of the top safest campuses in the nation, which we are so proud of. We also have one of the most diverse student bodies with students representing over 130 countries. And we also have our own health services department. So our own pharmacy, our own physicians, things like that. So it's kind of like a home away from home. So I hope if you do decide to come study abroad here at UT Arlington, you will feel safe and welcome. And then there's a lot of job opportunities as well. As an international student, you may not be able to work outside the university, but you may be able to receive a job here on campus. So there are a lot of opportunities for students, such as working in the Office of Admissions, assisting other students in applying to UTA, working at the library, for instance, or maybe the computer lab. So there's always going to be an opportunity for you to find work at UT Arlington, especially with our campus. We're such a big, large campus. There's always going to be opportunities for you to find a student worker position. And we'll be more than happy to assist you in finding a job here on campus if you want. And my personal belief really is working on campus is great, because not only do you get an income, but also it gives you the work experience. And also working on campus, a lot of times your supervisor will be a lot more lenient, because we understand student workers, your main job really is to be a student first. So a lot of times we will allow students to, especially during finals week, or if you have a big test coming up, we'll be a lot more understanding in that regard. So I encourage all students living on campus or who are a student here at UT Arlington to actively apply for student worker positions on campus, which we have many. These are the final steps that I would like to give you advice on. Everything is just really to start early, right? You want to make sure you give yourself plenty of time to prepare. I don't want you to feel rushed. So ideally, you want to identify when are the starting dates, when are the deadlines, and work backward. If you need to study for the exams, go ahead and study for the exams. And make sure you submit your application before the priority date of your desired start term. And that's all I have. So if you have any questions, now it's a good time. I'm going to stop sharing my screen now. Okay, great. So can you guys still see me? Because I no longer can see me.
Yes, we can see you, Peter.
Okay, awesome. Thank you guys so much. I'm going to start reading some of these questions that I see. Oh, so first of all, good question, Nakari, about my contact information. Thank you for reminding me. So everybody that's listening now, here's my contact information. If you have any questions whatsoever, do let me know. Do let me know that you participated with this organization and that you are a student in Turkey that watched me live as well. So that way I can keep track, because if you're truly interested in applying to UTA, I do want to work with you to provide a one-time application fee waiver. So that way it wouldn't cost you anything to apply. Just let me know. So that's my email, peterlee@uta.edu. And just feel free to message me with any questions or concerns that, that you have. So I'm gonna scroll up a little bit because there's a lot of questions that you guys asked that I unfortunately that I missed. So first question. Okay, so the first question is, does UTA has astrophysics? So we do have a physics department here. We may not have a major that's dedicated 100% on astrophysics, but we do have courses that you can take in regards to that. So unfortunately, I would say it just depends. So we do have classes on astrophysics, but we don't have a major dedicated to 100% on that. Next question is, can I apply for a business master's degree with the communication? In fact, yes, you can. So with our MBA program, a business background is not required, although that will be helpful. But people from all walks of life really can apply for the MBA program. And in my opinion, having a background that's not business related will really enhance the MBA experience, because you're going to be interacting with students from different countries and different backgrounds. So you having a communication degree definitely will not be a hindrance whatsoever. So they talked about prices. I did talk about prices within the PowerPoint slides. So it's going to be roughly what I've shown on that. So hopefully that helps. So acceptance rate with PhD in biomedical engineering. I can't really talk about acceptance rates because that's really, that's a number that I don't have. And it really is dependent on a lot of factors. So ideally, the best way to approach this, if you're concerned that you may not be good enough, is to log on to the UTA website or any website of any school that you're interested and look up what the admission requirements are. As long as you meet those admissions requirements, you stand a good chance of getting admitted. So does participating in student exchange programs abroad help receive scholarships besides GPA? So this is a yes and no, and it's going to be dependent on what kind of scholarships are available at the time when you're applying. For the most part, most UTA scholarships will be merit-based. So what that means is that we're going to look predominantly on your test scores and your GPAs and things like that. So for the most part, I would say most scholarships at UTA will be merit-based. However, there are opportunities while you're a student to apply for different other scholarships that are funded by organizations and departments that are not UTA affiliated. So there is a possibility that you can apply for a scholarship that may ask for you to share some experiences if you engaged in a student exchange program. And for the most part, you participating in a student exchange program will really benefit you as a student here at UTA. I think you'll do really good here because a lot of students, like I mentioned earlier, come from different backgrounds, and we have a lot of study abroad opportunities as well. So the opportunity for you to study abroad is great. So I think that's awesome that you participate in the study exchange program, and I hope there is a scholarship available for you. We have a lot of scholarship opportunities, so I can't narrow it down and say yes and no. It just depends. Iran, the NBA admissions requirement. Sure, I did share the fees. That's kind of a generic fee outline that's going to be beneficial to know. For most programs, the fee structures are going to be the same. In regards to the MBA admissions, I encourage you to reach out to me personally. Just email me, and I can give you the specifics on the admissions requirements. So Tariq asks, do you consider that we get a master's degree from accredited school for a PhD application? So Tariq, ideally, the answer would be yes. So whatever program that you're applying for, if it's a PhD, we are going to look at what school that you've attended in the past, if that school is accredited, and how rigorous your education was. There's a lot of factors that go along as a PhD candidate, so it's not going to be as simply me telling you that you're a strong candidate or not. We're going to be looking at many things. So test scores, where you went to school, how tough the education was, what's your academic background, do you have any research experience? We're going to look at your letters of recommendations, your personal statement, for instance, your essay, why you want to come to UTA, why do you want to pursue a PhD, etc. So there's a lot of factors that's involved when we're assessing a candidate. If you want more information, definitely let me know. I can probably give you a better understanding of what is next when you're applying. So Nakadi asked, do you have any online or in-person programs with Turkish universities? So I guess your question is, do we have any partnerships with any Turkish universities? As of current right now, unfortunately, no. Not that I'm aware of. We don't have any partnership with any Turkish universities right now, unfortunately. So in regards to Turkish Council of Higher Education approval and recognition status, that is something that I'm not 100% sure right now. I'm gonna have to do some research on that. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. Nakadi, if you can email me your request, I can look up to see if we have approval and recognition status, and hopefully I can give you your information. And then you asked for my contact information, which my contact information is peterlee@uta.edu. And Tariq asked, do we consider undergraduate or graduate GPA for PhD applications? So actually we look at both. So your undergraduate GPA and your graduate GPA will both be considered when you're applying for a PhD program. Okay, Nakadi, so Nakadi asked how many Turkish students you have on campus. And how many, okay, so that is actually a really good question that unfortunately I do not have an answer for. I know we do have a lot of Turkish students. I don't know the number. We have our own Turkish Student Association organization here at UTA that invites students more about the Turkish culture and things like that. What I can do is I can connect you with the student organization president, the president of the Turkish Student Association, and hopefully you two can connect and build a strong relationship, and then you can learn more about what students in Turkey are doing here at UTA. Oh, thank you so much, Nakadi. Definitely reach out to me if you have any additional questions. Nakadi, I know you have a lot of questions that you asked, and unfortunately I wouldn't be able to answer all of them right now. But I'm gonna put my email one more time in case, especially if you're interested in a one-time application fee waiver, you can apply and we will waive the application fee. So I think I answered most of everybody's question. If I didn't get to you, feel free to ask the question again. Just copy and paste. I didn't mean to ignore you, but I think I got everybody. Well, if you guys have any additional questions, let me know. Maybe if you don't have a question right now, but maybe in a day or two you do, definitely email me and let me know. I do want to build a relationship and learn more about what your interests are to see if UTA will be a strong fit for you. So.
Yes, it looks all questions are done. I send a reminder. Just let me talk in English, Peter. Arkadaşlar çok teşekkür ederiz. Eğer sorularınız varsa Türkçe yazabilirsiniz. Buradan çevirisini yapıyor olacağım ben. Yoksa eğer Peter sunumu tamamlıyor. Çok teşekkürler herkese katılımınız için. Thank you so much, Peter.
You're very welcome. Thank you, everyone who attended today. Please feel free to reach out to me, and I look forward to learning more.
Teşekkür ederiz herkese katılımı için. Hoşça kalın.
Bye, everybody.